The topic of the video today is hurricanes, very large and destructive storms. In a hurricane, there can be winds of up to 160 miles an hour, and trillions of litres of rain can fall in a single day. They can create waves as high as 15 metres in the sea below them. When they reach land, the quantity of rain and the force of the wind can cause large amounts of damage. Cars and buildings can be destroyed, and trees and power lines can be pulled down. Flooding is also very common, not just because of the large amount of rain, but also the strong tide that comes onto land with the hurricane. On land, the storm can also cause tornadoes to form, which are also very destructive. Hurricanes start out at sea and go through a number of different stages, going from small and weak to large and powerful. If the wind speed is less than 38 miles an hour, it's called a tropical depression. If the wind speed is between 39 and 73 miles an hour, it's called a tropical storm. And if the wind speed is higher than 74 miles an hour, it officially becomes a hurricane. This is just the lower limit, however. Some hurricanes can reach wind speeds of more than double this amount. Hurricanes can also be known by different names, depending on where they happen in the world. They're known as hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean, between America and Africa. They're known as cyclones in the Indian Ocean, and they're known as typhoons in the Pacific Ocean. The word hurricane is said to come from a god in the ancient Mayan civilization called Huracan. The word typhoon has a couple of possible origins. The word sounds a lot like the Chinese word taifeng, so it could come from there. It also sounds a lot like Typhon, who was a sea monster in ancient Greece and who attacked the earth with storms. So the word might come from there too. There are about 50 hurricane-sized storms every year, and they happen during the hurricane season. This is from June to November in the northern hemisphere, and January to March in the southern hemisphere. They all start around the equator, where the water is warmest. The water needs to be at least 27 degrees C for a hurricane to start. They start around the equator and get energy from the warm water in the ocean here. They then move either north or south, gathering strength as they go. Hurricanes in the northern hemisphere spin counterclockwise, and they spin clockwise in the southern hemisphere. At the center of a hurricane is an area of low pressure where the wind is quite calm. This is called the eye of the storm. Around the eye, however, the winds are at their strongest and most violent. As hurricanes move across the ocean, they increase in size and strength. By the time they've reached land, some of them can be extremely powerful. When they reach land, they can't get any more energy, heat and water from the ocean anymore, and the water in the storm falls from the sky. Hurricanes are at their most destructive near the coast, and as they get further inland, their power slowly decreases. For the hurricanes in the Atlantic Ocean, the ones that have a chance of hitting America are given a name. At the beginning, they were only given male, masculine names, but later they started giving them female, feminine names too. Today they are given a male name, then a female name, then a male name, and so on. The first hurricane of the year is given a name starting with the first letter of the alphabet, A. The second one is given a name starting with B, then C. Studying hurricanes is quite difficult, as there aren't really many weather stations out in the middle of the ocean, where the hurricanes are most of the time. Scientists have to use satellites up in space to take pictures of the Earth and study the hurricanes in that way. However, there are some scientists who do study them up close. The hurricane hunters use airplanes to fly into storms and use equipment to study them. They gather data on things like the wind speed, the rain, and the pressure. The more data we have about hurricanes, the better we will understand them, and the better we will be at predicting them. Scientists now use very powerful computers to simulate hurricanes, to try and predict what path they will take.